Great way to wake up. All right, here's our next segment. Could a drug used to treat osteoporosis be an actual cure for baldness? Scientists from the University of Manchester say they are hopeful after their research found the drug stimulated hair growth in follicles within 2 days. With more, I'm joined by Dr. Robert Jones, who specializes in hair loss. Good to have you with us this morning. How did this research come about? How did they find this connection?
Well, it started out with a drug that's actually used to treat cancer, cyclosporin A. And this particular medication has been used for decades, but they found that people, one of the side effects of this medication is people will get hair growing all over their body. So it's was a kind of an unwanted side effect for years.
Right.
And the researchers at the University of Manchester found that the active ingredient that caused the hair to grow all over patients' bodies was actually a part of this drug that also occurred in this osteoporosis medication, which is WAY 316606. And they found the same medication, the osteoporosis medication, also caused inhibition of this protein, which caused hair growth.
So how do you concentrate it then to just the hair on your head and not end up with the hair growth all over your body?
I think it's never really going to be an oral medication because it's going to cause hair growth all over the body. And the way it works is actually bringing the hair out of a resting phase into an active phase. And so similar to minoxidil, but I don't ever think this is going to be a hair loss cure because the real culprit with hair loss is DHT. And as long as DHT,
what is DHT?
DHT is a byproduct of testosterone, and it's the culprit. It's the reason why when males reach puberty and their testosterone level goes up, is they start, their DHT level goes up, and it's the DHT receptors. If you have a genetic predisposition to male pattern baldness, the receptors on the top of your head you have DHT receptors in those follicles. So as soon as those become active, those hairs will cease to exist.
40% of men experience hair loss by the time they turn 35. That number is close to women. 40 to 50% of women experience it by the time they reach menopause. And as you've pointed out, a lot of this is hormonal. So if these clinical trials are successful, how hopeful is this that they have something that could help?
Well, I think it's just one more tool that physicians will have. Like right now, there's Propecia, there's Rogaine, and this will be one more tool that'll bring those hairs out of a resting phase into an active phase. But I think it's to say that it's a hair loss cure at this point, I think is being a bit premature. I don't think, you have to go through the clinical trials to make sure to see what sort of effect it'll have.
Well, that's my next
people
question.
With hair loss.
What kind of side effects have we heard about so far?
Well, I mean, the nice thing about the osteoporosis medication is it has very few side effects. So I think the unwanted side effect of hair regrowth is certainly there. So I think if it's used topically, it's definitely going to be, again, one more tool that physicians have to help patients with hair loss.
What are the options that are available other than the topicals or the ones that you've mentioned? There's surgery?
Yeah, I'd say that the main options would be, again, the Propecia, the minoxidil, and hopefully this. There's PRP is the other thing. Platelet-rich plasma is another option that physicians have.
Do they work?
Well, Propecia, minoxidil, and work in virtually 90 to 100% of patients. There are side effects to both of those. PRP works probably in 70 to 75% of patients. They get some hair regrowth. Works the same way, bringing hairs out of a telogen or resting phase into an active phase. And then there's hair transplants would be the last option that patients have.
What makes you most excited about this development?
Well, it's just one more tool, and it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I think initially there's a lot of hype in the press, and obviously it's a new medication that's helping hair loss, which is, again, probably, you say 40%, probably by the time people reach 40, 50 years old, it's over 50% of men and women, so it's a huge issue. And I think obviously it makes the press, and when something new comes up, people get excited about it. But it's at least 4 or 5 years away, I think, by the time it goes through trials.
Well, it's an interesting time to have you here on this conversation.
Well,
thank you so much.
Glad to be here. Thanks, Anne-Marie.
All right, let's send things over to Ben.